Hey everybody, guess what? We're back! And it's episode 45.
Yeah,
Ooh,
45.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
45.
Ooh. Shut up. Colt 45. Is that what you said right now?
No.
Oh, what did you say?
That's even better.
What did you say?
I was just saying 45. 45.
Oh, who knows about Colt 45? All right, well, we are back. It's episode 45, and we did a thing right now.
What did we do? I don't.
Oh my God, we just came from there into the studio. Where did we go right now? Where did we go?
I'm just kidding. We went to go turn in our ballots because we voted.
We voted. Check it. Zoom in on that bad boy right there. And then zoom on that bad boy over there. Listen, I have anxiety. I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of nervous. But it's kind of like the night before a big game. Like, you know, you're going to smash.
Oh, that's that kind of anxiety. That's good anxiety.
Yeah, it's good anxiety.
Yeah,
so, you know, you're going to smash on that opponent, but then you don't want to take anything for granted. So you got to go hard all the way until the final whistle blows.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So by the time you guys watch this, voting will be over.
I know.
But I'm hoping all of our little ants, and I think it's cute because everybody's calling themselves their little ants now.
Cool.
Or our little ants. Because we said, you know, one ant by himself, like in Bug's Life, one ant can't beat the grasshoppers, right?
Yes.
But all the ants can whoop some ass.
Because they outnumber the grasshoppers.
And we do. We outnumber.
We outnumber.
So get it together. And I'm sure you guys did. We had a few people tagging us. Mm-hmm. A lot of people did not tag us. Mm-hmm. We only got a handful.
It's okay.
That's
as long as you voted.
You know, that's okay. I know. I am positive our little ants, everyone voted. Mm-hmm. Everyone that follows us, everyone voted. That's my take. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Awesome, and I appreciate every single one of them.
Yeah, and get this, Donovan voted for the first time today.
That was pretty cool.
It was so freaking cool. I'm gonna put a post up today, but I'm not gonna lie, I was very emotional, and probably when I put the post up today, I'm gonna be emotional on camera. I just know it because this is what he said, you guys, and this is kiss to God. I swear to you, this is verbatim. I go, how do you feel, buddy? Last night when we were filling out our mail-in ballots, right? And we didn't mail them in. We actually walked them to a poll center at our library.
We always do.
Yeah. And we walked over there and actually physically, I want to see it go in the box with all of the poll workers and people standing out in line.
Yeah.
I want to watch it go in the box. Yeah. And then I go, I'm this guy, right? I put it in and then I go and look. All right, it's all the way down. I don't want it peeking out where someone can take it out. You know what I mean? I'm paranoid. I do that with snail mail too.
Sure.
If I go to the post office, I put it in and I open the thing and I put it in and I close it and then I open again and I look again just to make sure it goes all the way in. And that's what I do with my motherfucking polls, dude, or my ballot. Yeah. I do that with the ballot too. So we did that. It was awesome. Felt good. And I asked my son last night when we were filling out our ballots because we do it like a family thing. We all sit around the kitchen table, and I read the prop that's on the ballot, and then everyone does their own voting. I don't tell anybody who to vote for, or you don't tell anybody or what to vote for. I read it, and we kind of go from there. So
yeah, it's nice to know too. Like I told you this yesterday, as I was kind of jumping ahead a little bit, just to look at them.
Yeah,
I understood them. That was pretty cool.
That's a good thing because most people don't vote, and not most people, but a lot of people don't vote, and it's because the book is like this big, you know.
They don't want to look at it.
But it's such an easy read. Like it's like one page for each yay or nay or whatever. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It was pretty freaking cool. So last night when Donovan was done, he sealed it up, and I said, "Hey, save this receipt. We're gonna go online. We're gonna track our ballot. So I'm gonna teach him how to do that." And I go, how does it feel? And he goes, not gonna lie, feels good to be on the right side of history. And then I said, what does that mean? And he was like, I just voted for the first female president of the United States. And I was like, I wanted to cry.
Hey, you just told him who he voted for. So?
He's totally open about it. Yeah. That's all good. Hey, you know, he was loving it, and he is not afraid to tell anybody.
Sure.
It's really cool. Like, if you want to tell someone who you voted for, that's fine.
Sure.
And also, and I'll say it, I voted for Kamala. So Eat a dick if you don't like that. I don't know. It's my right to vote for whoever I want. Anyway, so we're coming out of the polling place after dropping him off in the little box. And there was this cute young kid. I don't know. He's probably like 20 years old, right?
Yeah.
And he has this little flag, and he's standing in the parking lot. But we went to our local library, and he's standing out in the parking lot telling people this is the place to vote for or whatever, right? He works for the library. And then we're walking out, and he goes, "Hey, how was your experience?" You know, and I thought, oh, like a concierge. It's a polling place. That's kind of cool. And I was like, oh, it's really cool. It was his first time voting.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, nice. And then he goes, congratulations. And Donovan's like, yeah, thanks. And then he goes, yeah, so, hey, so did you vote for the congressional race, between so-and-so and so-and-so? And I looked at him and I go, yep. And he was like I'm going to tell him who I voted for. And he goes, yep. If he would have asked me who I voted for the president, I would have said it. But, other people. And I was like, yep. And I go, don't worry. I'm on the right side of history. And he goes, all right. Right. But I was thinking, man, someone needs to train you. You don't ask people who they voted for. What the hell? But he was cute. And I love that a young person was at the polls. And
that's what I really liked about it.
Because they're all volunteers,
That's what I really liked. A young face out there. It's typically older. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Like, well, when we went into the thing, there was, nothing but elderly people volunteering their time as per usual.
Yeah, they love to do it.
And so we're putting our things in the box, right? Yeah. And the guy goes, or the lady goes, okay, great. Yeah, you voted. And I go, yeah, it was his first time. And everybody start clapping for him. They're like, oh, yay, right? And then this one guy goes, hey, don't forget to get your sticker. He was all fired up. It was really cute. So God bless those poll workers, man. Yeah. Good, bad, or indifferent, wherever just as long as you're honest and just give everybody a fair shot, man. Yeah. Not like the crazy shit that's been going around the world. But anyway, okay. Speaking of, not crazy, but speaking of stories, let's get right into it. Before we start, we're going to do our secret handshake. Boom, boom, bam. Okay. So this is a part 2, okay, for our episode 45. And this is all of the advice questions that you guys sent in to us, which were so many. And I promise you we could do 3 episodes on this, but we're not gonna. After this one's done, then we're gonna answer the rest of them on Instagram and /TikTok. Okay. But yeah, we'll get started. Okay, so the first advice question that we have for today is someone who said, how to deal with girlfriends who are good one-on-one, but put you down in a group. What are your thoughts on that?
That's... you got to tell them. You got to tell them that's not right. It's like two-faced, right? Like you act one way in front of me and you act a different way in front of everybody else. Anyone for that matter wouldn't like it. I don't like it, the sound of it. So you got to tell them. So me as a non-confrontational person, I would just, I wouldn't do it in front of a group. I would just do it with just me one-on-one with her or whoever, right? Like in that situation. And I would just tell them how I feel, be honest with them. How uncomfortable you feel, how you whatever in the group setting, and why you feel like you were making fun of me, blah blah blah. But I would just ask. I would tell them, but not in front of the group, obviously. Just privately.
And what would you ask them?
Like why? Like it's always different when we're one-on-one as opposed to a group. I feel like when we're in a group, I'm like the butt of every joke and you push. You're the one that starts it. You're the one that ends it. And I don't like how the way it makes me feel. So why do you do that? Yeah, that would be my question. Okay, that's good. Another thing too, I would say is if you're a non-confrontational person and then you're going to talk to that person, I would write it down before you talk to them. Your thoughts, right? Things that you heard, how it made you feel. And then that way, and just keep reading it over and over again before you go talk to that person. Because I would guess that as a non-confrontational person, you're going to be nervous, of course, to even say that to that person. It sounds like you don't have a good enough friendship to where you can just talk openly and honestly, because you're putting up with this person putting you down in front of others. So I feel like if you don't have a good relationship, that good of a relationship to where you can be like, in the setting when it happens, you can't feel comfortable going, hey, what the hell does that mean? Sure. If you're going to do that in private, I would just write down your thoughts. And honestly, even if you're even if you are a confrontational person, it's always good to write everything down, kind of mull it over, think about what you're going to say. Sure. If this friendship is valuable to you, you're not going to want to,
you're not going to want to ruin it.
Yeah.
You're going to want to communicate.
Right.
Because that's the key to any successful relationship, whether it's platonic or it's romantic.
She obviously likes her because she's good one-on-one.
Yeah.
Like, that's what she said, right?
Yeah.
She obviously likes her, enjoy the one-on-one time. It's just what's going on when we go into a group, right? Like, why is that so different?
Yeah.
You know, I don't like that. I like this, but I don't like that, right? Like, just being honest, right?
Yeah. So, and honestly, be ready for things you're not going to want to hear, just in case.
Sure.
Right? If that person says, what are you talking about? And then they gaslight you. I never said that. I never said that. Just be ready for that too.
Sure.
And at the end of the day, anyone who does that, anyone who like switches into from your friend to your, mean girl or whatever, right? Anyone who does that is not a friend. That's it.
Oh, yeah. If you're being...
They're not a real friend.
Yeah, think about it.
Because that person is very insecure.
Yeah.
And they want other people to like them. So they're not genuine people anyway. They're putting on an act.
I would say they're more insecure than about you, probably. They're like the difference of how they feel.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're trying to make fun of you.
Maybe, but people who make fun of others is someone who thinks that they have more power than them. It's a power dynamic. So they pick on the weak, if you will, right? Ooh. And sometimes when you're really nice, people okay, I'll give you an example. Like our son.
Sure.
Boys did that to him all the time.
Yeah.
Right? It's not because they were intimidated by him.
No.
It's because he's kind and he's so sweet. He gets along with everybody. And the kids that would bully him are the ones who take his kindness for weakness.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily they're jealous of that other person.
They
could be though.
Yeah.
That could be
sure.
That could be real too.
Sure.
They're just a bunch of haters, and so they try to put you down, to show their dominance. Again, power play.
Yeah. It could be they don't like anything about themselves, so they deflect and put the focus on you as they're making fun of you, right? So don't look at me, look at him. Clown, you know what I mean? Some of that shit, or it could be any of those things. But at the end of the day, you got to tell them. You got to tell him whether it's in front of everybody, so he gets put on blast too, or
that's
he or
what
she,
I would do,
or it's one-on-one. You just got to tell him.
Yeah.
Because there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like
it's not a real friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to find out what's up.
Yeah. If you feel inclined. To, really salvage this relationship, but my inclination is that this person is not a good person, and they're not really your friend. You know what I mean? If they're going to do that if they're going to do that to you, what else are they going to do to you?
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that would be our advice. Confront them and maybe just communicate with them, but write everything down before you go so that you don't, you feel like you advocated for yourself. And then just be prepared for whatever comes next.
Oh yeah. The writing down thing is so good because someone like myself, in those kind of situations, because I don't like them, I kind of panic. Yeah. And I don't know what to say, and then the wrong words always come out. And I'm always missing stuff, and then reflection comes later, regret. Why didn't I say this?
I should have said this.
Yeah. That's me.
Yeah.
That's me. So yeah, writing them down does help a lot.
I just had a brain blast. You can also use this technique at work. Right? If your boss accuses you of something, or someone says something and, Tate did this or whatever, and they call you in the office or whatever. And I think I've mentioned this before, just take notes while that person's telling you what you did wrong or whatever. Take notes and write down, things that they say that aren't true. And then when they're done talking, it's your turn, go back to your notes. First of all, when you start writing notes, it kind of freaks them out. What are they doing? Why are they writing? What the hell are they writing about me? Right?
Sure.
So anyway, good to use at work too. It's a good tactic. Okay. Next up, we have this one. This person said, how do I get myself back out there after being a stay-at-home mom for 3 years now? I used to be very outgoing and hardworking, but I felt myself become more anxious and to myself after having my now toddler. I'm 26, in school, with a loving partner who tries to encourage me.
Wow.
Okay, let me, as a mom, let me tap in here. Can I tap in here?
Yes.
So she's been a stay-at-home mom, which I like to say is one of the hardest jobs on the planet. And I like to call you a house manager. It sounds more official, right? You're a house manager because you do everything in the house and everything for the house and everybody who lives in the house, right? She's saying she used to be very outgoing and hardworking, but she's more anxious and to herself now that she has her baby, right? So young. You are so young. You're only 26 and you're in school. So I would say if you do have a group of friends, tap into them and do baby steps. Hey, let's go have coffee. Hey, let's go shopping. Hey, come with me to the park to take our kids or something like that. Like if you have a mom group, that's cool too. But if you want to get out of that, if that's what you're saying, you want to get out of that mom situation during the day at home, while you're in school, maybe you get a part-time job. Maybe you join a book club. Maybe you join a hip hop class. Maybe you do something for just you. And that has nothing to do with your baby or your loving partner, just you. So I would recommend doing things for yourself that have nothing to do with your damn crumb snatchers or your annoying partners. I'm just kidding.
Why was I even trying to give advice on this one?
I don't know.
What the hell's the matter with me?
You tried though, honey. That was good.
Why? Like what? After that? Why? Well, I should have just said, take the mic.
It's just a different dynamic, right?
Sure.
And that's the patriarchy, right? So we lose ourselves. As a mom, I know this. I was a young mom as well. I lost myself after I started having kids, and I'm like, oh, but here's the thing I do know. You will never be the same person that you were before the kids.
Yeah, it's
okay?
Yeah, you're a different person.
So what you're going through right now is you're mourning the person you used to be.
The past.
Right? You're like, I used to be so outgoing and so hardworking.
Yeah.
Not to say you can't be that again, but it's a different version of who that person is. Yeah. And you're always leveling up. Once you have a kid, dude, you level up 10 steps. I was just going
to say, you're better.
Yeah.
You're years better than you were back then. So
it doesn't feel like it.
No.
I'll tell you right now, as a mom and someone who was a competitive cheerleader and had a six-pack and was like super duper fit after having kids, some of that goes to the wayside. And that's okay because you're trying to do all the things. And I had 2 kids, was going to school full-time, working 3 part-time jobs all at the same time. At the time, I didn't know I was depressed or had anxiety and whatever, because I was just like, I got to make money. I got to feed these goddamn kids and you know, and I still want to go after my goals and my dreams and stuff like that. But knowing that you're more anxious and you're keeping more to yourself, that's because you're just in a funk, and that's okay. And it's so normal. And we don't talk about it enough about how after you have kids, you go into a funk because you mourn the person you used to be.
But and then you're also it's 24/7 the kid.
With a 2-year-old.
Yeah, it's 24/7 with the kid, raising the kid. You're of course you're going to get in a funk because that becomes your life.
Yeah.
Having a kid, it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
So yeah, you drift away from all the stuff you used to do. You stop doing this, because your priorities have shifted. It's that young baby. They're number one now. Forget about me.
But it's not like, listen, it's not forget about you.
No, that's just the beginning of it.
No, yeah.
That's just how you think at first.
Yeah.
Right. That's just, but eventually.
No, 100%. Like, this is all I need to focus on right now, blah, blah, blah. This is all new and whatnot. It sounds like you only have one, so that's your first one. That's always the hardest one. After that, throw another hot dog on the barbecue and we're fucking done. It's good.
Pick it up. We're good. We just got 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Pick it up. It's still good.
The binky falls down on the first one and you're like, I have to sterilize this, right? Second one comes and you're like, all right, running underwater. The third, and anyone after that, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th kid you have, you go,
It's good.
And you just give it back to them. That's how that works, okay?
Man.
But here's where I was going with that. You do say, hey, it's all about the kid, and that's okay. But at some point, you got to remember, hey, I matter too. Exactly. And if I'm not happy, ain't nobody going to be fucking happy. I'll make all of your lives miserable.
And it sounds like this is the transition time. Because you're asking, you're asking the advice, and you're like, I'm thinking about this is the time we start making the shift.
Yeah,
right?
And I promise you this. You start doing things for yourself, and obviously, still feed and take care of your baby, right? I'm not telling you to ditch or say peace out on your kid. But like you're going to school, that's for you, I presume, right? That's a good thing. But also take time, like have a date night with your loving partner, get a babysitter for the baby, and make that a standing rule and do little things like that, right? That's what we did. Took us a long time to get there because we were just trying to keep a roof over our head and food on the table. If you do that, and you start doing things for yourself that make you feel good, go get a mani-pedi.
Yeah.
Go get a massage. Go for a walk with your headphones and just
read a book.
Just you. Yeah. But it has to be uninterrupted time for you for at least an hour.
At least.
More if you can do it, right? But if you can only do baby steps and you can only get 20 minutes.
Do it.
Dude, you know what I used to do? I used to hide in the car. And I used to like go in the car and I would get my work. I'd have my laptop and I'd do my work in the fucking car. I couldn't escape any of these crumb snatchers or you. I couldn't escape you.
I remember going in the car.
So I used to go in the car. I used to take calls. I used to do my homework. I do all kinds of stuff.
That became the office for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, do whatever you can that works for you to take care of yourself and give yourself some me time.
Yeah. Give yourself some grace.
Because
it's some grace.
It's fucking hard, dude. What you're doing is the hardest job on the planet, and I say that with my whole chest, 10 toes down in the sand, dude.
I'm sure you're doing an amazing job too.
The fact that you're asking and you're going to school tells me all I need to know about how awesome you are. Okay? All right. So moving on to the next one.
Okay.
This one says, how do I deal with having a one-sided friendship with people I consider close?
What?
Okay. So this person's saying that they have a close friend. They think they're a close friend. But it seems like that person that asked the question is always giving. The other person's taking, and there's no reciprocation. What do you think about that? What kind of advice would you give to that person?
Either goodbye.
Okay, that's it. Next question.
We don't have a relationship.
Yeah.
If it starts to feel like that, it's definitely not a relationship.
Well, first thing, it's not. It's not a true friendship.
No.
You consider them close. Did you ever see that TikTok where they're like, yeah, I'm your best friend?
Yeah.
And the other person's like, wait, what? I'm waiting, and you never say it back, right? That's what this sounds like. And it also sounds like the other one who keeps putting the person down, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Similar to the first one.
Yeah. So this one is more of sometimes we're just giving people. That's not a weakness. That's a fucking superpower. Don't ever let anybody think that.
Yeah, we have to tell quite a few people that we know that exact same advice. Hey, man, that's a good thing that you give.
Yeah.
Right? That means you're a good person.
Yeah.
That means you're this. That means you know what I mean?
But the reason why we have to tell them that is because they're getting taken advantage of.
Yes, exactly.
Right? And so I would say communicate with that person. This is how you make me feel. Like I always call you, or I'm always setting a coffee date, or I'm always inviting you somewhere. And you never do it to me. And I just want to know why.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe you can say, I'm not trying to be high maintenance. I just want to be clear about what our relationship is.
Yeah, this shit feels one-sided.
Yeah. Well, don't say it like that. Like, just, you can say, I just feel like I'm giving more than I'm receiving. And I really consider us to be close friends. Can you walk me through why that is?
Yeah.
Now, the reason why I say that is because someone like me,
Sure.
I'm always busy. That's not an excuse. It's just a fact. I'm busy.
Sure.
I don't like to talk on the phone. Unless you have something to say to me,
Sure.
I don't like to talk on the phone. I like to get it done and that's it. I'd rather talk to you in person.
Sure.
Right? Or FaceTime me or whatever. It's just the phone calls. It's just not my jam.
Sure.
Right? So I don't typically call people to shoot the shit.
Yeah.
I just don't. But that doesn't mean I don't like you. That doesn't mean I'm taking advantage of you. That's just my thing. Now, if you don't know that about me, you're going to think I'm an asshole. It's one-sided.
So maybe that's it.
That's what I'm saying. So
I see
have
what
the
you're saying.
conversation with that person and kind of like try to uncover what it is that's going on.
Yeah.
So that's what I would, because you're saying with people I consider close. So what does that mean when it's one-sided? Is it setting up dates? Is it coffee dates? Or if you set something up and then they flake on you all the time, like what does that mean? And then just ask. You said people, so I'm assuming there's more than one. So communicate with them.
Yeah.
And again, be prepared for, hey, don't be a high maintenance friend, or I don't know, hoping for the best, but prepare for the worst.
Maybe you're not high maintenance. Maybe this is just something that it's been happening over time, and you're like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah, maybe.
maybe you've been super patient with it, but now you're kind of like over it,
Yeah.
right? So you want to tell them, yeah.
Well, if it continues to happen and you get to the point where you're over it, then it's been a pattern and you just haven't said anything. You know what I mean? So I would say our number one advice is to communicate to those people how they're making you feel, and where do you fit, or how do you like to be to that person, right? If I'm you and I'm talking to the people, I would say, how do you like to be communicated with, or how is this going to work? Because I feel like I'm doing this and you're not. So like, where do I fit?
Yeah. I've always been fascinated, like it has been for the last couple of years. I've been fascinated by the fact that to be able to communicate with someone without hurting their feelings, or not necessarily hurting their feelings, but as we're talking, the things that they say not hurt my feelings. I've been fascinated about how can you do that? Is that possible? You know what I'm saying? Like maybe this just must be far off from the subject, but it just made me feel.
No, it's a sidebar.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a sidebar. But it's every question has been about feelings, how you feel, what to communicate. You know what I mean? So I've been fascinated with if you could master that. Can you master that? Probably not. I don't know, but
I think you can.
To be able to not take it personally, not you know what I mean, or as communicate it so in a way where they can listen and not take it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, here's how I think about it. If you go in like you were just saying, like, I have shit to do, that's gonna hurt my feelings, and it's gonna upset me, right?
Yeah.
But if you go in with like, hey, can I talk to you real quick about something that's on my mind, and you go in with like respect and just not accusatory, not pointing fingers, just saying, I've been noticing this has been going on, and I'm not gonna lie, it kind of hurts my feelings. So like, I kind of want to know what's going on. Where do I fit in? Am I being too much, or whatever? Like what's going on? I wouldn't even say am I being too much, because that's self-denigrating to you, because you're not being too much. Your feelings are hurt. Sure. So don't say that. Scratch that. Yeah. But just communicate in a respectful way, a kind way when you're not emotional.
I was just gonna say that to add to that. You could if you're still pissed, you probably might want to wait.
Put a pin in it. And do the 24-hour rule, which is what I do.
Yeah, you might want to wait a little bit so you can think clearly, like me.
Write it down,
and then
call another friend and get all your venom out before you talk to that person.
And they could give you a different perspective, calms you down, and then you're in a better state of mind to have that talk, right?
Yeah, because listen. No good decisions come out of being when you're in a high emotional state.
Yeah, it's just ugly.
You will never make good decisions when you're super duper emotional and your emotions are high and your vibration is out of control, right? Yeah. You won't make good decisions. No. So what I do and what I tell my kids to do, our kids to do is, hey, write it all down, get your venom out, or tell somebody get your venom out, and then wait 24 hours and then think about it, and then ask yourself, do I want to have this conversation now? If the answer's still no, because you're still pissed, wait another day.
Yeah, wait. You got time.
Yeah. Okay, here's another one. Marriage or elopement? What is our preference?
Marriage.
So, well, the way they wrote it, I'm assuming it's a wedding or elope.
That's what I thought.
Because if your elopement is marriage.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, would you rather have a wedding or would you rather elope?
I'd like to have a wedding.
Yeah. Well, we kind of eloped.
We did.
Do you want another wedding?
Want a wedding? I would love one.
Ooh, our 25-year anniversary is coming up next year.
I would love one. I think it'd be awesome.
Well, get to planning it. That would be great. And this time you have to actually physically, romantically ask me to marry you. What if I said no?
Secretly.
What if I said, nah, I don't want to marry you? That would suck, huh? I think I might do that if you ask me.
You already said it. You said it like more than once too, so.
I did. I think you asked me like 8 times and I was like, no.
So
let me get my financial aid first as a single mom.
We're good.
I'm not joking. If you want to have a 25-year anniversary, you better propose. You better get down on one knee.
How did this turn into that? I just answered the question.
Anyway, okay. So I think it's whatever your preference is, but for me, myself, I think either one is good. What I don't like is, if you feel like you have to keep up with your neighbor, keep up with the Joneses, as they say, and you have to take out credit cards and loans and debt to pay for a one-day extravaganza to feed a bunch of fucking people you don't even see throughout the year, right? I just feel like if you have the means to have a big wedding and that's what you want to do, then do it.
Yeah.
And that brings you joy. But don't just have a big wedding and all the bells and whistles so you can show off and do your Instagram and shit like that. Because let me tell you something. When the dust settles, you still have to pay the piper. Okay? You don't want to start a marriage out in debt. That's my point in that. So, but you can have a nice wedding.
Sure.
It can be simple, it could be affordable, and it can still be beautiful. So if that's your jam, knock it out.
Yeah. If you want to elope, knock it out, man.
Yeah.
That's you.
And if you want to elope, that's okay too. It doesn't change anything except for the bill. That's it.
Little lighter.
Yeah. One's lighter, one's super heavy if you go ham, right? But I think they're both great.
I think they are.
And I think if they suit the person or the couple, then that's what you should do. You know, we eloped, we went to Vegas, but we did have like 5 people on one side, 5 people. We did have a wedding party. And people still talk about that wedding to this day.
They do.
Because we were going to plan a big wedding. And then it just got out of control. And then I was like, oh my gosh, we're starving students. What the hell? Why am I trying to do this?
Yeah.
Let's just do that.
Yeah.
And we had a blast.
Yeah, it was a blast.
We had a freaking blast.
Yeah.
So it just depends on what your financial, situation is and your family situation. Some people elope because they're like, y'all are crazy.
Yeah.
And this is about us.
Yeah.
And don't forget that. The wedding is about you and your significant other. Has nothing to do with anyone else. So if people give you shit about it or you do what's best for the two of you.
Yeah.
Okay? So, that's that. All right. And then the next one is this person said, I have a girlfriend, but I miss being single.
Wait.
I love her, but I like independence. What do I do?
Oh, you're just you want the cake and eat it too, man.
You selfish motherfucker.
You want it all.
I say that in jest, kind of. Listen, if you miss being single, you are being super selfish
Especially
by staying with your girlfriend.
Especially to your partner.
Yeah.
It's so not right.
If you like your independence, you should not be in a relationship at all.
No.
Okay. And what do? Yeah. Do the right thing.
Yeah.
Tell your girlfriend, I need a break.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling it. And do the right thing and honor your significant other.
Yeah.
Honor your girlfriend by telling her the truth. Is it going to hurt her? Yeah. And that's probably why you haven't fucking done it yet.
Yeah.
Because you're probably a good person in some respect, but you're not a good person if you're leading her on.
And these are the thoughts you're having in your head.
Exactly. Yeah. So listen, you are doing nobody a service by leading her on and continuing in this relationship.
While I appreciate the vulnerability and the truth of this question, I mean, to ask it, right? I mean, we don't know the name, but the person by face, but
I know the name.
But to ask it, I appreciate that. But the answer is you got to tell the truth. The answer is you got to leave her alone. There's nothing wrong with being single and having a good time single. There's nothing wrong with being with a partner and having a partner and having a good time with them. But you can't do both.
Yeah.
You can't do both. It's not fair.
Don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
I'm lying.
Like, that's not cool, man.
That's not cool at all.
I always say, when I joke to Tate, I was like, hey, man, if you... Can I be vulnerable right now?
Stop. Not that vulnerable.
No, here's what I was going to say. I always joke, and I say, hey, man, if we can't break up, I don't want to fucking date. That sucks. That sucks, dude. I know what that dating pool looks like because I have friends that are single. Our kid was, is single.
Right. That thought's never crossed my mind.
I know. I say, and I joke about it, but I'm saying, if we can't. I'm not going out into that dating world. It's crazy. So here's what I will tell you. You better think long and hard about this.
Yeah.
Because the dating world is cuckoo bananas right now. Okay. But if you still feel that way, that's the way you feel, and that's okay. Yeah. But do the right thing and tell your girlfriend, this isn't working out anymore. I need a break.
Yeah. These are my thoughts. I don't think we should be together.
Well, Don't
Be
tell him I
honest.
love my independence and I want to be single. That sucks. You can say it nicer.
No.
In a, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I wasn't saying.
I know.
I'm not trying. I don't want you to be rude. Of course not.
Sometimes people are literal, so I have to tell you what he's really saying because I don't want you going out and saying that shit.
Thank you. I don't want to do that either.
So yeah, just listen.
Yeah.
Tell your girlfriend,
Tell her.
hey, I don't feel like I can be in a relationship
Exactly.
right now.
Just like that.
But I do love you and I thank you for all the time that we had together. I gotta call it right now. And then, don't say we can still be friends. Because no, we're not gonna be friends. Right?
It's probably gonna suck too. That's okay. That's okay. That's part of being honest. That's
listen,
part of doing the right thing.
You make your bed, you better lay in it.
Yeah.
Because listen, if she's a good one, you better think long and hard about that. Okay. All right. Moving on. This one says, Buenas from Guam.
Nice.
I'm 22 and I'm a full-time student working a part-time job, but I'm struggling with my time management. And then she's asking, Noel, do you have any tips on how you balanced your school and work life? I don't want to burn out since I'm only a second year. By the way, love the podcast. Please keep doing what you're doing. My favorite online parents for real. Yay! And we love you too. Okay. So
all the way to Guam.
yeah, avoiding burnout is a real thing. Okay. There's no such thing as balance. You can try the balance, but it's always going to be like 60-40, 80-20. It's going to, something's got to give. You can't give 100%, right? Or 50-50. It's just not realistic.
No.
So let me just put that out there.
There's only 100% of 100. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's all you can give.
That's it. So, and you can't give 100% over here to your school and then fuck off for your job. Okay?
Impossible.
Yeah. So what I would tell you, because I did go through this for a long time, I would tell you that you need to be consistent with your calendar, right? You need to schedule in time, not just for your studies, not for just your job, but also for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Because if you listen to the part of the podcast earlier where I said you have to do things for you so that you can hit that reset button, right? And feel good about yourself, right? So you have to have your calendar on point, but you also have to schedule, and I'm not even joking, in your calendar, on your phone, wherever you have your calendar, you have to schedule if you work out, if you want to go have coffee, if you want to walk on the beach, if you want to do yoga, whatever you want to do for you, that has to be part of your daily plan.
Yeah, just like work, just like school, just like
a
homework,
meeting,
just like
you have
projects.
you have to take a meeting with a client. You're not going to put that on your calendar because you'll forget.
Yeah.
So you'll also quickly forget how to take care of yourself.
Yeah. Because you'll say, okay, this Friday I'm gonna go do this, and you don't put it down. Friday comes, I gotta work more.
Yeah.
Friday comes, work's telling you gotta stay longer.
Yeah. And then that's when you tell your job, oh, I can't have an appointment.
See?
Well, what appointment? And none of your business.
Yeah. I'm off at 5.
Yeah.
I'm
The
not
end.
staying here till 8.
Exactly. So, and with your schooling, you have to make time to study.
Yeah, that's
So you have to have study time blocked out on your calendar, and you keep that like you have a meeting with a client.
yeah.
That
Same
you
thing.
wouldn't miss kind of
Yeah.
thing, right? So that's how I managed it.
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't even have kids. So can you imagine having 3 jobs, okay, 3 part-time jobs, going to school full time and having 2 kids at that time?
And,
That's
and
cuckoo.
I know you're single, right? Is she say, or I don't know if she's single or not. She shouldn't say.
No.
Well, that.
And
that,
by the way, they didn't say it was a she.
okay. Well, they right. Whether they have a significant other or not, that could come into play too.
They didn't say that. That's not
No.
in here. Oh, you're saying if.
Yeah. So if people who have them.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean? Similar situation, but they have a significant
Sure.
other. That comes to play too with the scheduling. Yeah.
Yeah, so everything has to be in the calendar. Listen, when the kids were younger and they said, hey, mommy, I have this track meet, or hey, I want to, can we go to Disneyland, or hey, can we do this, can we do that? And I'd say, yeah, put it on my calendar. They knew from a very early age how to put something on my Outlook calendar, right? And because if I said, if it's not on the calendar, what?
It's not gonna, I don't know it exists.
It doesn't exist. If it's not on my calendar, it doesn't exist, right? So the kids would send me meeting requests, and it would go on my calendar, and then I would block it out in red. And that was like visually for me to pop off my calendar going, oh, if my boss said, hey, I need you to fly to Washington, and I'm like, no, can't. Sorry.
Yeah. Also remember, give yourself some grace, because is it going to be perfect? Nope.
Yeah.
Shit's always gonna happen. Schedule gets fucked up somehow, because especially if you're trying to cross school with work, sometimes work will tell you stay later, blah blah blah. But that shit does happen. So just let yourself know that even though it's scheduled, it may get fucked up, but just trying to get back on track, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're only one person,
Yeah.
and you're human.
Yeah.
All right. So, but I promise you this: if you schedule everything in your calendar
Mm-hmm.
and you keep to it, you won't even come close to burning out.
Yeah.
You'll be like, you'll feel so confident and
Mm-hmm.
so proud of yourself that you're keeping a tight schedule. And when you schedule in your personal time with friends, family,
Yes.
whatever,
The reset time.
then it's on your calendar. You already planned it. It's a done deal. So that's how we would, manage that.
Yeah. Let's do 2 more.
2 more? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
If you don't mind.
No. Okay. This one's really good.
Okay.
This one says, I feel like this is common, but I'm struggling really bad with myself and setting boundaries with people and not letting people I love walk all over me.
Wow. Sound familiar?
It says it says I are up, but I think it means I'm up without either parent. Oh, maybe I grew up without either parent in my life and have always been a people pleaser. I let anyone in my life tell me how to live it and want to do it and what to do, and it's exhausting.
Yeah.
I'm struggling more than ever right now, not worrying about what others will think if I finally do stand up for myself.
Wow.
I don't have a lot of people in my life, and I'm scared if I finally do stand up for myself, I might just lose everyone. How can I set healthy boundaries and not feel so guilty about it? And why is it so hard to be nice to myself? I'm sorry if this sounds stupid. I just don't know what to do anymore.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
First of all, sweetheart, you're not stupid.
You're not.
Do you know how many people?
I do those exact things. I go, is this me? He's like, that's what I'm like, wow. Is this guy me? What's going on here?
Aw.
I do those exact same things.
Give us an example.
So say the very first one again. I'm trying to remember.
The first
The
first sentence?
No. Oh, the people please. No. The letting relatives walk all over him, right?
Yeah, and tell them how to live their life
Yeah.
and what to do. And it's exhausting.
Yeah, that was me as a kid.
Yeah.
That was me as a kid. I was so intimidated.
This is an adult. So like talk about like when you got into your young adult. Yeah.
It carried into my young adult life. That's where it was learned as a kid, and then I carried it into my young adult life, and then it didn't really click. I promise. It didn't, this is being true, and Roland, it didn't really click until I met you.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. No. That was a good thing. It clicked once I met you. You helped me experience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because sometimes he would be like, "Oh man, I don't want to do that." Like if some family members are like, "Hey, we need you to come over and do this," and I'd be like, "I don't want to do that," and I go, "Then don't."
Yeah.
Tell them you don't want to.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't do that.
Yeah.
They'll be mad at me.
Yeah.
So?
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, I was a grown man. I had kids, still thinking that way. So come on, man. It's me and you, brother. I promise you, it's not as hard as you think. But I understand that you're in that situation now because I still have struggled with it to this day, even though I'm a lot better with it. But that hit me so. I was like, man, is that guy me?
Yeah.
Like,
well, we don't know if it's a guy or a girl,
or the person.
Yeah, but I can tell you this. When you say it's not that hard, that's being dismissive.
No, yeah. I don't mean that.
And you had me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm very confrontational.
Yeah.
So sometimes I would fight your battles for you.
Yeah.
And that's okay because that helped you gain the confidence, right? Yeah. But this person is saying they don't have anyone. And so they're afraid to lose people, right?
Yeah.
Here's what I will say. If you're saying you don't have anyone in your family, but do you have a friend, even just one friend, that you can lean on, like I was to him, right? Maybe you can lean on that person and have them help you gain the confidence. Because if you lose everyone because you're setting a boundary, then do you really want them to be in your life?
Exactly. I was just going to say that too. That's a lot of our conversation too with me. It's the same thing. Like if you lose communication, like when's the last time you even talked to them? You know what I mean? And it just made me think. Yeah. Right. So if you have that friend that can make you think a little bit about the situation you're in, maybe it'll help you discover, I don't need this guy in my life, or You know what I mean?
And what do those people, because you're saying, they're walking all over you. But it, and I'm playing devil's advocate here. It could be you're so amenable that they just lean on you. They're there. Oh, Tate will do it.
Yeah.
Tate will set up the tables and chairs for this quinceañera.
Yeah,
Tate
they always do it.
They always do it.
Yeah.
But if you haven't communicated that to them, maybe they won't, and maybe they'll take it better. If they won't, these people and they're like, oh no, if I say no to them, all hell will break loose.
Right.
That has to be so stressful and anxious ridden for you. And so for that, I'm very sorry that you're going through this.
That's why I said that at the very beginning. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, because he knows. He knows how it feels, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you're quiet and you're non-confrontational.
Yeah.
So, and I can only imagine how exhausting that is because we lived through that, right? Right, babe? So, but you said, I don't have a lot of people in my life, okay? And I'm scared if I finally do stand up for myself, I might lose everyone, which I don't see that happening.
No.
But you know them better than we do,
Sure.
so we're not sure. But there's got to be at least one person in your family that can like advocate for you, But listen, you need to advocate for yourself, and that's a boundary. And if you have a boundary that you don't want crossed, it's going to be so uncomfortable because they're used to doing it one way, and now you're changing it up, and they're going to be like, "What happened to you?
Yeah.
You used to do this all the time." Well, now I'm not.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Right? So hopefully you have at least one person in your life that will be your ride or die. And if all hell breaks loose and all else fails, you still have that one person in your life.
Yeah.
And then work on making other friends that make you feel good.
Right.
So like when you go somewhere, like there's been times we've gone to your family's gatherings or whatever, and when we leave, you always feel bad about yourself. Because someone's always being passive aggressive or something like that.
Sure.
Like, is that where you want to go?
Yeah.
Do you want to be in that kind of environment?
Yeah.
And then I told you, we don't have to come to these things anymore.
Yeah.
And remember you were like, what? Like it never dawned on you that we didn't have to go.
Because that's just, as a kid growing up, that's what I learned. Family always came together. Family always came together. Like, and then there was always, the talking and the shit talking, and it's just part of it, you know? And even as an adult, I just did the same thing again and again and again. And then, like I said, until you finally got me to think, like, you don't have to go, man, if you don't want to go.
If you go somewhere and when you leave, you feel worse or bad, worse than you did before you got there. Like, let's just say you were having a good time. You get there and you leave and you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
I hate this. I hate how I feel right now. I feel bad about myself or whatever. I feel like I'm a failure. I feel like I'm disappointing people or whatever. And you continue to do that. That's exhausting. It's going to create anxiety and it's not good for your mental health, right? But if you're hanging out over here with friends that are not your blood family, but they're your chosen family, and you always feel good, and you're like, oh man, I wish all my family stuff felt like this. That's where you should be.
Yeah, see, remember? And then what was happening with me is I slowly started going to all your family stuff. Remember? Remember? And you were like, hey, man, you guys got stuff going on. I said, don't worry about it. We're not going to go.
Yeah.
Why? Because I felt like this.
Yeah. Move your mic closer because it's going away.
Yeah, because I felt just like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And the me being an adult, making an adult decision with my family, hey, they feel the same. We're not going.
Yeah, but here's the thing. He never advocated for himself in those situations, even to this day.
Sure.
Only with one person that you did saying, hey, that's not right, right?
Yeah.
How you're treating me, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But everything else, it was just like, we just kind of
Yeah.
faded off into the sunset, if
Yeah.
you will, and stopped going. And then they just stopped inviting us.
Yeah.
And then you were so much happier for it, right?
Yeah.
So I guess to wrap that part up,
Sure.
if it doesn't bring you joy, if it makes you feel bad, if it makes you feel taken advantage of or walked all over like you said it does,
Right.
then maybe find a different environment that's gonna, and it doesn't have to be family. And
Man.
if you do lose all that family, what does that say about them?
Sure.
It's not about you.
Sure.
You said, I don't like being taken advantage of. I don't like you walking all over me and telling me how to live my life. And they are mad and disown you.
Yeah.
Do you want to be a part of that?
Right.
Probably not. Right. But I understand the fear.
Sure.
The fear, I went through the same thing. I had a fear of loss in my family and like, oh,
Sure.
And then it was like, oh, fuck, dude, I'm so exhausted. I'm tired. You only come to me when you need money or something or some kind of favor.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm done. Hey, we're not going. So then we both stopped going to our family stuff, and now we make our own shit happen.
Yeah.
And we talked about in the last podcast.
Right.
We made our own traditions, holidays, fun activities, vacations. We did it for ourselves.
For ourselves.
Because it wasn't good for either of us to be in those relationships with our other family. Okay? So the other second part of this, and we'll wrap it up with this, is why is it so hard to be nice to myself?
Oh, man.
I can answer that. You took the first part. I'll take the second part.
Sure.
I can tell you why.
Yeah.
Because you probably grew up, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments or whatever. You grew up in an environment with these people who always made you feel less than, right? So you're not first place, you're a loser. You didn't get on the honor roll list, you're a loser. That kind of thing. And maybe it wasn't as harsh as my situation was, but it's like, oh, okay. You hear it enough, you start to believe it.
Right.
And then every little thing, you become a perfectionist. And God help you if you're a Sagittarius. Because those two things are crazy, okay?
Crazy town.
Crazy town. A perfectionist and a Sagittarius, holy shit, right? You have your work cut out for you. And so when you do things that are great, you tie everything to your wins.
Yeah.
Right? And when that happens, when you don't win, you tie that specifically to you're not good enough, you're not worthy of being loved the way you want to be loved, you're not worthy of good fortune or this or that or whatever, you just become not worthy across the board. So of course you're going to be an asshole to yourself because everyone else is an asshole to you and you think that's just the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Hey, it's not. It's not supposed to be like that. Ask Val. She knows. Right? What were you going to say?
I was just going to say you're always going to be...
your own worst critic.
Your own worst critic. You're always going to be that. No one can be meaner to you than you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I promise you that, myself included. There's no one that can be meaner to you than you yourself. So if you understand that, it's just part of it. Like I get it because I've done it numerous times. But the sun's going to come up again tomorrow, and the day's going to roll, and you'll eventually figure out that this is just a part of it, Well,
this person who wrote this is asking, why is it so hard to be nice to myself? That's the scenario, right?
Sure.
Because you've been in an environment where people are not nice to you.
Sure.
And so you believe it. So you're hard on yourself too, because you want to be that perfectionist, because you want to get in their good graces, because they're always walking all over you. They're always telling you how to live your life, which tells me your life isn't good enough for them.
Sure.
So you're always feeling less than.
Sure.
At least that's what I was going through when I was growing up, all the way up into my adulthood before I found Val, right? And so one of the things she's always telling me is your success or your work is not tied to your self-worth. So cut that shit, right? And separate them, because they're two totally different things. And just because you're not perfect, or just because you don't do things that other people think you should do, does not make you less than. It just doesn't.
Sure.
So how do you be nice to yourself? Here's how I do it. Anytime I'm mean to myself with my body dysmorphia or my eating disorder or anything like that, as soon as that shit creeps in my head, I go, wait, stop. Let me think about it. I sit in it, I think about it, and I ask myself, is that true?
Sure.
Is that true? What I'm thinking right now about how I look in the mirror, is it really true? Are people looking at me like that?
This is good tactics.
Right?
Yeah.
No one's looking at me.
Yeah.
Right? I'm making this shit up in my head because I grew up in that environment, and someone telling me I was not good enough, I wasn't fit enough, I wasn't skinny enough, I wasn't white enough, right? The whole nine. So when I have those thoughts, I stop myself in my tracks. I investigate it in my head. Ask myself, is this true, or is this something I'm making up?
Sure.
When I figure out, well, it's not true, then I have to say 3 things nice about myself.
Okay.
And it has nothing, whatever it is. If I'm looking in the mirror and I don't like what I see, the 3 things that I say nice to myself have to have nothing to do with how I look.
Sure.
I'm a great mom. I'm a great wife. I'm a great friend. Yeah, I am. Fuck yeah. And then it like snaps me out of it.
Yeah.
It's a learned behavior though, and it's really hard.
Sure.
When I first started doing it, because that was one of my assignments,
Sure.
I felt like an idiot. And I felt like a fake. saying that shit to me,
Yeah.
to myself.
Of course.
Because it's easier to believe the bad shit than it is the good shit.
There it is. That's a good one too. I've seen that before.
How come when someone goes, hey, you're a loser.
Yeah.
You didn't come in first place. And you go, oh, I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
And then you go and you stew in it and you know, for fucking a week, right?
Yeah.
But if someone says, oh my gosh, I love that dress. You look
Yeah.
so pretty today.
Yeah.
And then you go, well, you know, I washed my hair today and
It's old.
This skirt's from Target. It's nothing nice. Like we immediately self-denigrate, right?
Yeah.
So no. So if you do that,
Yeah.
here's another fun fact. Say thank you.
Yeah. And accept it.
That's it.
Yeah.
2 words. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then even if it makes you go, "Ooh, I hated that."
Yeah.
Because if you grew up in a toxic environment like me,
You're going to feel like that.
you're going to feel like that and
At
you're going to
first.
hate it.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you're gonna totally accept it and feel
Yeah.
good about it.
Yeah.
I used to do that. I still do that every now and then, and I catch myself, and then I go. Then I go next time, no more. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do that. And then they'll say it, and I say, hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you're my friend and you do that because I know I do that to myself, they go, oh, well, stop right there. Stop right there. Did you hear what I said? Yeah. What did I say? That I look pretty? Okay. Then you say, thank you. That's it. And then they get all, what? Oh my God. It throws them off, right? One of my friends in particular throws her the fuck off. And now she'll go, oh, thank you. She's about to say something self-denigrating and then she goes, oh, no, thank you. Because I'll call her out on it. That's a good friend, right? So you have to try these tactics and let us know how it works.
Yeah.
You know? So hopefully that works with
Yeah.
the family and then being nice to yourself.
Right.
Because listen, if all else fails and let's say you have a best friend,
Yeah.
would you say mean shit to your best friend?
Oh yeah, that's a good one too.
The stuff you say to yourself, would you say that to anybody you love? No,
Yeah.
you probably wouldn't. So
Yeah.
guess what? No one's going to love you like you.
Yeah. So stop saying it to
So
yourself.
stop saying it to yourself and start saying the stuff that you say to other people.
Yeah.
Say it to yourself.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. I remember that one.
I know. I'm still working on it, guys. So I'm a work in progress. I'll check back in
We
and let you guys
all
know.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's our advice for today. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And thank you for trusting us to ask us for advice. I'm not going to say I hope it helps because I know it'll help because
Right.
it's tried and true from us. So if you try our tactics and you know this is your comment or I'm sorry, your question for advice, please, DM us or drop it in the comments if you're so bold and say, oh my gosh, that was me. And I tried your tactics and they worked. Or, hey, you guys are full of horse shit. It didn't work. That's okay too.
I'll take that.
We'll listen to that.
Yeah. We're not perfect.
Yeah. But we wouldn't tell you advice for anything that we haven't done ourselves.
No, exactly.
So-
That I was just going to say that. This is all through personal experience.
Yeah.
It's funny, like when I think about it, I went through a lot of the stuff we talk about
Yeah.
in my life. So
Yeah.
it's like a lot of people have a lot of things in common, you know,
Yeah.
like life experiences, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? So
And to dovetail on what you just said, I
Sure.
love all these questions because we have been through every single one of them.
exactly.
And there's almost 80,
Yeah.
questions that were sent
Yeah.
in. So
Yeah.
we've been through all of them.
Yeah. We're speaking
Which is
from
kinda cool.
experience.
And it excites me because now we get to pay it forward.
Yeah.
So you don't have to
Yeah.
go through the trenches like we did.
Yeah.
You get to learn from our experience.
Yeah. And you can get through it faster than us.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, you guys. Thank you for joining us for episode 45.
In the books.
We're excited to be going into the holiday season. And please keep the questions coming. Please like, share, and follow. There's been quite a few of you that just are new to our show. And you're like, I didn't know Daisy and Drew had their parents online.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the ACU. So anyway, we love you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And we are sending out the good vibes for a great election and the outcome that we want. Yay! Anyway, we love you guys. We'll see you guys next time. Bye. You're not talking. Hello. We're not gonna be able to hear this sound unless you actually talk into the mic.
Okay. I'll talk in the mic.
Okay.
Okay. Testing, 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 testing.
Girl, I'm gonna talk in the mic.
Testing.
You go, I'm gonna talk in the mic, and you went.
I'm ready. I'm just kidding. Don't forget to press record over there, buddy.
hey, buddy, it's been speeding since you were turning on the camera. So shut the hell up.
3 minutes down.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Anxiety
All
is your
over
friend.
the place.
Anxiety. Ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. And 3, 2, 1.